Upish, oh, dropped. Or has he caught it? Oh, well done, sir. That was a brilliant effort.
Yes, his sunglasses flew off at the moment that he hit the ground, and initially it looked like he had dropped it, but that is a marvelous effort. So late in the day, he's bowled so many overs, and he makes good ground to his left and takes a brilliant catch. Silverwood going for a shot. He's furious with himself. He knows it's the last over. He's let his team down a little bit.
Well, really, that was a magnificent catch by Lance Klusener this late in the day. It's been hot and it's been hard out there. And to be able to throw yourself right at the end of the day, when with every justification you could have been thinking of the lovely cool drink that you're going to have and the shower that you so desperately need, to hold your concentration. You see that the glass is flying off there. I thought that was the ball that had come out for a moment.
Well, there's, I suppose, a little bit of doubt as to whether that carried or not, but quite clearly you can see there he takes it a couple of inches above the ground.
Well, certainly it was disappointing to lose Chris Silverwood just before the close, but on reflection, 364 for 9 is a decent effort by England. They've had some tribulations so far in this series, and they had a pretty good day. Atherton played marvellously for that 100. I felt sorry for Nasser Hussain. I thought he played well enough to deserve the 100 as well. And congratulations to Andrew Flintoff. He played with great flair. Andrew Caddick played stoically too for that unbeaten 33. The South African bowlers, they've all done their bit. Donald, Pollock and Hayward, and Hayward came in very fast, and he really does look one for the future for the South Africans, but they missed a spinner, no question about it.
Sport on 4 now, and all the action from day 4 in Port Elizabeth. Mark Nicholas introduces Today at the Test.
Port Elizabeth on the southern coast of South Africa, the town in which England had to perform with the bat if they were to save public face. An old hand led them, a man who had contemplated retirement 6 months ago due to a chronic back injury, and he led them with a memorable 100. How the South African bowlers must be sick of the sight of Michael Atherton. A splendid performance from the former captain. No doubt when he gets runs, England look a far better side. 364 for 9 overnight. Andrew Caddick and Phil Tufnell at the crease. 86, the difference between the sides. Just 1 wicket to fall. How long would it take?
Donald knows that 1 in the block hole could be enough for Tufnell, but Tufnell's going to get a single here because he does rather well to keep it out. So he gets off the mark. Yeah. Oh, he's got that away. And it might well be 4. In fact, it will be. Just threw the bat at it. And it flew backward a square on the offside and has gone for 4.
This is frustrating for the bowler. Did play it off the face of the bat in the end. I was about to say that it was a bit of an edge, but that did hit the middle of the bat.
And this might be 4 more. It's played away backward past the square leg umpire. Gibbs does haul it in. And there's 2 to Tufnell. So he's being a bit of a nuisance.
Tufnell moves on to 7. This one in the air for a while, but placed very well in the gap.
Now it's going to be Caddick facing Hayward. Fairly defensive field, 2 slips, and that's it. Bowled, kept a little bit low, and down off the bat, I think, onto the stumps, and Caddick is out, and the England innings ends.
Superb delivery. Nante Hayward, well deserved. Congratulations from Hansi Cronje as he gets his 4th wicket in his first test match. Bottom edge onto the stumps, and England now dismissed 373 all out. Andrew Caddick then 35.
My guess is that England will have settled for that. 373 in the end after the trauma of the Wanderers. Any form of big first innings score was something to lean upon. Michael Atherton, very much the star of that show. 108 from him. He's confirmed that he's back and probably here to stay again as a test match cricketer. Plenty of people contributing down the list. A fair few were saying that once you get to 20 odd you should go on, and 1 or 2 England players were guilty of not doing that. But resilience down the bottom from Andrew Flintoff and also from Andrew Caddick, so well played, both of them. The South African bowlers, splendid first match for Nante Hayward. He's got real pace. It's difficult to see how the South Africans will leave him out in the days to come in this series, and typically Alan Donald and Sean Pollock always in the game. Okay, the difference between the sides then, 77. That's a good lead for South Africa on a pitch that is getting a bit lower. If anything, it's certainly very dry now. We're going to pick up play at the start of the South African second innings. It's Darren Gough bowling to Gary Kirsten.
Good ball here. Darren Gough coming back at the left-handed Gary Kirsten. Oh, there's the appeal. Kirsten was playing it away on the onside, beseeching his Darren Gough. And you hear the Uitenhage tone, not out.
Yes, well, Kirsten is trying desperately not to play too far across towards the leg side. That's pitching, well, it's hitting him on the back leg, but the question is, did it pitch outside the leg stump or not? And I think Rudy Knudsen has got it right.
Oopsie. Well, that was a mean delivery from Andy Caddick, who is a tall man and delivers from very, very steep. That's out. Caught at backward point. And Kirsten has had a troubled time at the crease. It comes to an end as he's caught by Michael Vaughan at backward point.
Almost a case of Gary Kirsten just losing patience a little too early in the innings. He was battling to get bat on ball. He was facing some tremendous bowling, some testing bowling, and he goes for a shot. The ball is not quite there to drive, and all he can do is slice it away to Vaughan in the gully. Good catch, went at quite a nice pace.
So Kirsten out for 2 in 23 balls is at a disappointing test match. It's 5 for 1. Ooh. Loose shot. And squeezes that away for a couple. Oh, just as well. That was a beauty from Darren Gough, and it brings 4 runs as well.
Well, again, Gough is getting that movement back towards the right-hander. Late swing. And it really is swinging almost reverse swing style, and just coming in off the wicket as well. Gibbs was very lucky.
What a superb delivery there. Clear no ball. Look at that ducking in. So lucky. Edge drops short of Atherton at slip. He didn't push very hard at that ball, and as a result it didn't carry.
Quick, watch that then. Good appeal. Now what Steve Bucknor says no. Very quick delivery from Caddick. Certainly clipped something on the way through.
There was a noise. It's a question of whether it's forearm or whether it has hit the glove. He certainly played at it, didn't he? Starts to play at it. I'll go for the sleeve on that evidence. In the air and out. Good bowling. Herschel Gibbs, the man to go. Flintoff, the catcher. Really good stuff, this from England. South Africa on the back foot.
Beautiful line from Caddick. A little bit of extra bounce, not much, but it's all about the line. The ball probably straightened a fraction. Nothing wrong with the way Gibbs was into position to play it. But this is a direct reflection on one team feeling very good about themselves and the other just battling to get into a dominant position in the game. Gibbs has gone for 10. It's 17 for 2.
Way, that did go through. Cullinan's got that away backward a square. And off the mark with a boundary.
It's a tremendous shot because he just makes one move. There's no sort of hurried or complicated footwork here, just one stride and lovely balance. It's not that easy to do when you first come in, particularly when you've had plenty whizzing past your nose.
Well bowled. Quite slow bounce this, as opposed to it racing through. The ball's arrived at Alex Stewart head high, but on its way down. Not a good shot from Cullinan.
Well, there were some noises there. I don't know whether the batsman might have hit the keeper's gloves or...
Well, Alex Stewart, you see, is not interested from the word go. Good for him. He doesn't join in the chorus. Whether he might have hit the ground with his bat, that sometimes happens.
Yes, I think that's what did happen. Well, Phil Tufnell is almost as rowdy as Robin Jackman was in his heyday. Demanding that LBW there, the reason being that Cullinan never offered a shot.
Yes, and difficult for the umpire to determine. It looked as if it was straightening. I don't think it was the arm ball. It was drifting in nicely. But Alex Stewart was certainly interested in this one.
This flies in the air, down to third man for 4. There is a third man, but it went very quickly because it was airborne and he couldn't get round to cut it off. It was a bit too close to him in the end. He's got it away though, and we'll get a couple down to third man.
It's quite a full delivery from Tufnell. But Cullinan is so confident at the moment, prepared to judge or trust his skill.
It didn't turn as much as I think he hoped it would. That one does turn and is a very, very good delivery indeed. Stewart whips off the bails, but Cullinan's back foot was always well anchored. Umpire Steve Buckner's not even going to call for the third umpire to have a look at that.
That was a good spell of bowling by England. 42 for 2 the South Africans, with Gary Kirsten and Herschel Gibbs, the men who have gone, and that was a beauty that got rid of Gibbs from Andrew Caddick. The English bowlers, Gough got it much better this time. Caddick was exceptional. Silverwood bowled quickly, and Tufnell found a bit of spin. We're going to get straight back into the afternoon session of play now, and at the crease for South Africa are Jacques Kallis and Daryl Cullinan.
Brilliantly caught. Brilliantly caught. That's if it carried. Certainly wonderful reactions. And it's been turned down. I saw Rudy Koetsen look at umpire Bucknor. And let's us have another look. Outside edge. It's gone out of picture. So that isn't going to help us. That isn't going to help us. But the one that I think adds the doubt is when you see the ball right in the end of the fingertips of the catcher. And I would think it's fair to assume that although he felt he caught it, and I'm not saying anything less than that, I'm not in... It's Chris Adams, actually, it's not Andrew Flintoff. It's Chris Adams who feels that he caught it. It just could be that part of the ball might have touched the ground, purely because it hasn't gone into his hand, it's stuck in the end of his fingers there. Well bowled. That's flown 1 bounce, 2 bounces down to third man. Caddick's fired up. Cullis is under fire.
Bit of urgency now amongst the English players. This is good bowling, good direction, good pace, and good bounce.
Bowling out. Through the gap between bat and pad. The middle stump flies out of the ground for not the first time in this test match. And Caddick strikes another blow for England. South Africa 50 for 3.
Cullen in here, flummoxed by the one that's slightly pitched up, doesn't get the foot to the ball, gap between bat and pad, and the middle stump is removed. Caddick and his English colleagues will celebrate. Unlucky on 2 occasions. The controversial catch, and then the one off the splice of the bat, the shoulder of the Jacques Kallis's bat to third man. And finally, Daryl Cullinan departs 18, bowled Caddick.
That's not convincing. Almost an inside half of the bat. It's got him 2 runs. It's very interesting, this test match right now. Very interesting indeed.
He's got away with it again. That's the second time that fending off, the ball has flown into spaces where there are no fielders.
Yes, and if you were Jacques Kallis, he's actually in a bit of a predicament now, because I think the England bowlers have worked him out very, very well. They've given him nothing to drive, no width. They've just concentrated short of a length outside that off stump.
Oh, pitches it right up, and it gets through everything. And now Stewart wants to throw at the stumps, and there's just mayhem. I think the appeal at first might have been for LBW, but there was inside edge on it.
He's got this ball to swing back at just a fraction, or certainly off the wicket. It comes back at Jacques Kallis, and because he's been hanging on that back foot, he's not quite forward. This is excellent bowling.
Well, he's just tickled that away. Hussain will chase. And this is the way the contest will go. Tufnell bowling with that offside field, looking for a bat pad, and Cronje and Kallis looking to exploit a little bit of space. That's beautifully played. Nice touch. Well, just wide of the short leg, and a chase for him as Cronje will get 2. Oh, he's got away with it, and we'll get 4 runs to add insult to injury for Darren Gough. An inside edge, and they all count.
Certainly a mixed bag for Darren Gough. Inside edge there, Hansie Cronje not really moving his feet, playing away from his body. That's why the lack of control in the shot.
Oh, thump. Be pretty obvious tomorrow morning when he wakes up, he's got a horrible bruise. Oh, that's delicately lapped by Kallis. take two. It's 79 for 3. Oh, he's got that through. Two more to Cronje.
Good shot this from Hansi Cronje. More than shot that he plays, he guides it past the man in front of square leg.
It's gone for the pull, oh, just through the hands of Butcher at square leg and down to the boundary for 4. Now whether that was through his hands or just over, we might tell a little while later, but it's 85 for 3.
With his right hand, I think it was. Might see it a bit clearer here. No, both hands. In fact, that was a chance.
And Hansi Cronje pulls handsomely for 4. Well, obviously the idea was to pepper him with a few short ones. That's why the man went in at sort of silly point or silly mid-off. And there's also a man on the table at short mid-wicket. But my goodness, he got hold of that one beautifully. This is a good blow struck here by Jacques Kallis, and he'll bring him 4 runs. Square on the onside against the spin.
Yes, he's played a few attempted sweep shots earlier where he's just trying to pedal it round the corner.
He's out. Caught at backward point from a fairly innocuous looking delivery. He just didn't get over the top of it. The width was there to play the shot, but he hit it straight into the hands of backward point.
A little bit of a strangle for Flintoff. He won't mind. Good catch again from Vaughan. He seems to have good hands. Hansi Cronje just can't believe it. A wide, short, long hop. And he doesn't get on top of it, and he just cuts it straight to the man at backward point. He's gone for 27, but South Africa still in a bit of bother at 98 for 4.
This is very fine. Goff comes steaming round the fence, picks it up, but there's time for 2.
Yes, and I think this is a good move from Hussain. He's taken the silly point out, or the man on the offside out, and moved him just into a leg slip position.
That's better. That's through the covers, and that will be 4.
Well, that certainly is the most improved aspect of Jonty Rhodes' play. He's cover driving. Initially in his test career, he was always an awkward cover driver, but he's worked so hard on this shot, and that's textbook stuff.
Another splendid session of play here at St George's Park. 110 for 4 at tea, the South African, which represents a lead of 187 in total. Cronje would have liked to be declaring this evening, but I don't think he'll have enough runs. He'll want over 300 as security, and he can't really get there tonight unless something extraordinary happens. The South Africans, they've been tied down by good English bowling. Nobody really has got going, and it's the story of Andrew Caddick as the star man for England, with extremely good support from Phil Tufnell, from Darren Gough, and a wicket there as well for Andrew Flintoff. The story of the afternoon, though, was the moment when Jacques Kallis edged low off Tufnell to the gully where Chris Adams claimed the catch. There didn't seem to be any doubt at the time. Adams said he caught the catch, but the umpires decided to refer it to the third umpire in the camera when Jacques Kallis said, no, I'm not going. I'm not convinced that he caught it. Well, South African television did not have the angle that was needed to prove it one way or the other. Therefore, it was the only thing that the third umpire could do was to say, too much doubt, not out. The problem here really is one of morals. What we managed to do later was locate another broadcaster's angle, and you can see as we show it to you that it's not a completely conclusive either. I do believe Chris Adams took the catch, and I believe he took it a couple of inches off the ground, and there isn't any doubt. But television cannot be 100% certain. Therefore, it's up to the players at times to take the law into their own hands. In the old days, when the game was a little bit more morally bound, there's no doubt that Kallis would have taken the word of Adams. These days, that doesn't seem to apply anymore, and in a way, the game is worse off for it. That then really the story of the afternoon. A splendid day's play so far. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the final session. Hello again, it's tea time here at Port Elizabeth. You may just be able to see the score over my left-hand shoulder. 110 for 4. That's a lead of 187 with 6 wickets in hand for the South Africans. We'll get back into the play now, and we pick it up with Jonty Rhodes and Jacques Kallis at the crease.
Asking umpire Bucknor for a stumping. And umpire Bucknor asking umpire number 3.
Very smart bit of bowling and keeping. Smart bit of appealing too. Jonty Rhodes drags, but just not quite enough, I don't think.
Part of the foot must be behind the line, and is. Pulled away. It's in the air. There were cries of catch it, but it's gone away for 4.
Well, Silverwood, he certainly hurtled around that boundary, but not really with a chance of catching it. Jacques Kallis, for the first time in this innings, going for the short, or for the hook shot. A little bit of a top edge. But immediately it's brought about a change in the field placing. The second man going behind square deep on the leg side. It's no slip.
There's a big appeal here, and England are very confident. Once again, umpire Bucknor showed no interest whatsoever at any stage.
Well, this is a strange one because there's a funny noise, and for me what might have given it away is Jacques Kallis just turns away immediately, as if to say that's not out.
Tufnell. Once again, Kallis paddles, and he's going to get a couple because it's very fine this time. Long way for Caddick to run. Oh, and they're going to get a third for an overthrow. Well, Caddick did very well charging round the boundary, but his throw was awful. It was well wide of the wicketkeeper. And even the backup was taken by surprise, so in the end it went all the way down to long off. Appeal for LBW here as Jonty Rhodes went to try and pull one, which kept a little bit lower than he expected.
Did keep low, Chris Silverwood. Attempted pull shot. Hit him on the inner thigh. It might have been a bit high. This will give us a better view.
Yes, that's what saved him. Bounce up high enough to be probably going over the top of the stumps, but not nearly as high as he expected from the length it was delivered at. This will be 4 runs. Now, was it off the pad or the bat? It was pad. Just flicked the pad and beat the wicketkeeper and down to the boundary for 4 leg byes.
Again, Jonty Rhodes gets quickly inside the line of the delivery. Beaten slightly by the pace there. So Alex Stewart struggles to take it on the volley. 4 leg byes.
There's a man on the boundary. He's got to race around, and he does so rather well, and they'll get 2. That was a very convincing sweep shot played by Jonty there.
Very interesting shot. He actually used his feet. He was going down the track and then suddenly adjusted very well and carried out the sweep successfully. Could have been in trouble had he missed that, but we don't know him to miss too many sweep shots, do we?
Ooh, that was in the air as it went past the silly point. You see, by going down the wicket, the ball went even quicker to the man.
As one needed to be extremely sharp, and with somebody advancing down the pitch, must distract the fielder standing at that silly mid-off position.
Down to third man, it will run. Vaughan is after it. He will catch it. They will get 2, and that is enough for Jacques Kallis to go to that 50. And once he gets to 50, he often goes on to 100. He's made 500s, and that's his 950. And that's an indication that once he gets there, he's likely to go on.
Look at how late he actually plays that.
As a result of it, they've put in a slip. Well, that's a magnificent shot. That really is the shot of his innings. For once, he decided to use his feet to Tufnell, got to the pitch of it, and crashed it through the covers.
Jacques Kallis coming into his own here. Gets down the pitch to that. Full follow through of the bat. Excellent execution. And look at that follow through.
It's in the air, but down safely down to deep backward point, and 4 runs, despite the fact that there is a man at point, although he's much squarer, Atherton. And that's nicely struck by Rhodes.
Well, it's the most fabulous stroke. I mean, he's got on top of the ball. That's the important thing, so that his hands are above the bounce of the ball. And he's given it the crispest strike you can ever imagine. It's a lovely stroke. He's one of the most improved players, I think, in the world game the last couple of years.
Good shot by Kallis, and half a stop by Silverwood. Probably prevented the 4. And Kallis eases home for 3.
Well, the trouble for Silverwood is that the standard of fielding by fast bowlers these days, Alan Donald and Sean Pollock and Caddick and people, is so good that when poor old Silvers doesn't make the best job of that, if we're going to be brutal, he looks a bit of a goon. But going back 25 years, that would have been a very good half stop.
Oh, my word. Don't want to spill one little drop.
And if he does, there's a scavenger ready for the moment. And that's got Trevor Quirk licking his lips at the back of the box.
That's well bowled.
Hello, where's that come from? Oh, it's legit old-fashioned outswinger. Just doing enough. Didn't do a lot, but it just did enough. So we've had them in, we've had them out, we've had off breaks. And the more golf bowls, the better he'll get, I suspect.
Oh, that nearly improved his strike rate.
Unusually, you'll see here a batsman with a full set of studs. Now, these days, they bat in either flats or half spikes. That is very unusual. And who's the best runner between the wickets? Jonty Rhodes.
Oh, he very nearly got into trouble there. Goodness me. These first 2 balls of this over, maybe Don't quite know what he's up to here.
Well, he's decided that stalemate is no good for anybody.
Oh, it's gone way over. Stewart down to the boundary and 4 byes. It must have hit the footholds, but, well, difficult because from that end, it was outside off stump. Hit something. And just took off. So it takes a score to 168 for 4.
It's well played. Two more to Cullis. See what happened there? Just a little bit of extra bounce from the tall Flintoff.
Well, it was a long time before the batsman became at all dominant, and Kallis and Rhodes managed it by those closing moments of the day. 189 for 4 when it all finished. Jacques Kallis unbeaten on 74 and Rhodes on 35. They put on 91 together. A reminder that it was 42 for 2 when that incident came with Kallis. What a different story it may have been had that catch claimed by Chris Adams been allowed. The England bowlers, Andrew Caddick, the best of them. He was superb, picked up 2 wickets, could easily have picked up 4 or 5. Darren Gough showed signs of returning to some form after a disappointing first innings. Stoical stuff again from Philip Tufnell, and a wicket there for Andrew Flintoff. The situation of the game then is that with a day to go, the lead for South Africa is 266. Expect them to bat on a bit in the morning before any sort of declaration comes from